Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. It's indeed my pleasure to be here today to host this panel on Hong Kong's pivotal role in connecting mainland China with the world, especially in the thriving tech and startup landscape of the Greater Bay Area. So Hong Kong is an international business hub. We are a super connector that offers unparalleled advantages for businesses looking to expand in all directions. And as part of China and under the one country, two systems, we're the only place where international advantages and the China advantages converge. We provide stability and opportunities combined with an international outlook, robust legal protection, and free flow of capital. So our strategic locations connects you to all Asia's key markets within 4 hours and half the world's population within 5. The Hong Kong International Airport links us to over 220 destinations worldwide, enhancing supply chain management and market access. The city also has a strong talent pool. We have 5 of the top 100 universities of the world here, based here. Now, of course, today's title is the Greater Bay Area. So the Greater Bay Area is, of course, as we now know, a global tech powerhouse. Hong Kong is the most international city within the GBA, providing startups with unparalleled access to both funding and manufacturing capabilities. We are also the premier gateway to a vibrant ecosystem of innovation. This is where business growth and capital flow are very closely aligned and mutually reinforcing. So, Hong Kong-based startups benefit from preferential tax policies and the mainland and Hong Kong Close Economic Partnership Agreement, known as the CEPA. Recent amendments to CEPA, which came into effect recently, streamline operations for Hong Kong invested enterprises. For example, did you now know you can now use Hong Kong law and choose Hong Kong as the seat of arbitration for any contracts or agreement that you enter into if you have a parent company in Hong Kong for these Chinese investments? These changes will also allow startups to benefit more quickly from CEPA's preferential treatment, attracting entrepreneurs from around the world to establish a presence in Hong Kong and explore the mainland market. So, Hong Kong is a launchpad for innovation, empowering startups to thrive. And in this session, we shall see how. So as we start this panel, I just want to take a moment, if all of my esteemed panelists could take a very kind of a short and concise introduction to yourself, starting from, if I may, you. Right next to me, Anita.
Oh, hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Anita Chau. I'm the Director of Ecosystem of HSITP. HSITP is a new INT park in Hong Kong, covering 87 hectares. It is actually part of the Hong Kong-Shenzhen Science and Technology Innovation Collaboration Zone. So our mission is to provide a platform for the tech company to facilitate them to collaborate with among the research, industry, and enable them to be commercialization and pilot transpiration in Hong Kong and at the park.
Thank you. Daniel, tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Daniel Chen, I'm head of Greater Bay Area for HSBC. My main responsibility is to bring the huge opportunities of GBA, as well as the strength of HSBC, to deliver the best value for our clients in GBA and beyond. I think this is also the mission of HSBC 160 years ago, and this is the month that we celebrate our anniversary. I think it also echoes very well with today's theme of the panel, which is Connect GBA to the world. Look forward to sharing the experience and exchange views with the panelists.
Thank you, Daniel. Next, Eric.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Eric Orr from Hong Kong Science Technology Park. We have a unwritten slogan in the office. It's our park company's success is our success. So it's actually embedded in our corporate KPI. So everything we do, it's about helping our startup to be successful. So I'm very excited to be here to tell you a bit more what we do, how you can expand your market outside GBA.
Excellent. And last but not least, Georgina.
Thanks, Alpha. First of all, such an honor to share the stage with the heavyweight speaker, Georgina Chu. I am with Cyberport for more than 1 year. Cyberport is positioned as Hong Kong's digital technology hub and AI accelerator. We built a very comprehensive ecosystem to support startups, to help them to thrive and expand the business in the Greater Bay Area, the mainland, and the world.
Great. So this is what startups need, right? You need a platform. The science and technology parks are all represented here today from Hong Kong. And of course, as startups, we look for money. And we've got a representative from Money here, Daniel. So I'm going to throw some questions to you before we turn to the questions to the floor. If I may, I want to start with Eric from the Hong Kong Science Park about global partnerships. You know, Hong Kong SDP has been a catalyst for research and development in the Greater Bay Area for a long time now. So I understand that sometimes you also partner with some global tech hubs, such as Silicon Valley, Shenzhen, maybe the Beijing ones. So how do you do that to position the GBA as a leader in cutting-edge innovation?
Alpha, thank you. The thing we do at Hong Kong Science Park is help our startup to grow. Now, we've been around for more than 20 years now. A lot of our startups have become very mature. And one of the things they do when they join our program, they want two things. One, funding and capital. Second, most important, they want business. Otherwise, without business, they will die. Yeah, believe me, a lot of startups could not get over that. Now, one of the things we do is proactively for the past 18 months is to helping our startup to go overseas. Now, why do we do that? Some of our startups, you look at Hong Kong, even GBA, yeah, it's a good size of business, but a lot of them have a very hunger to go overseas. So what we have done recently is working with a lot of the regional partners, Hangzhou, Shenzhen, even Middle East, all the way to US. Let me give you a few examples. 18 months ago, when me and my CEO, we were in Silicon Valley, we were talking about what happened if we put our startup against the best in the world. For example, if you play football, you want to play in the World Cup, you want to play in the Premier League. But we said, if in the startup world, where do we go? Silicon Valley. So we picked Silicon Valley as our place for test bed to bring our startup from our park and see what happened. So last year, we sent 5 companies there. We sent them there for 6 months. We tell them, if you don't succeed, don't come back. Of course, we don't just send them there. We work with a local partner in Silicon Valley. What they do is provide them with the industry knowledge, local business rule, introduce them to local business partner, investor. After 6 months, very successful. We have a lot of business outcome, investments. So we were so excited. So this year, in fact, next week, we actually pick another 9 companies. They're going to send to Silicon Valley again. This time, when we call for application, our park company overwhelmed. We have close to 80 companies raise their hand, they want to go. So we can only take 9. In fact, we want to pick 10. The last one, for some reason, they couldn't go anyway. So we are taking more company to Silicon Valley. The other example I want to tell, actually working with our partner here is HSBC. We have a very tight working relationship. And one of the things when we get together and say, I look at HSBC, this is as global as you can get in terms of banking services. So they asked us, Eric, how can we help you? I said, my park company, they want to go overseas. So they said, where do you want to go? They said, pick a spot. So I said, where's the richest place? Middle East. So I did pick Middle East. So let's go to Saudi. So in November, with HSBC help, we take 12 companies to Saudi. They took us there and introduced us to all the local government official, eco-partner players, corporate partner. 12 companies come back. A lot of them actually have very successful proof of concept. That happened in 2 days. It happened in 2 days. So very exciting. I can name a few more examples, but a lot of conscious effort from Science Park is about helping our tech venture. So I just want to give up 2 things to share with the audience. Definitely our main goal is to help our tech venture to be very successful and expand into the global market.
Thank you, Eric. Really great partnership with you guys in pursuing this. So coming to HSBC is not only about financing, but also global connectivity.
I want to jump. Sorry, I want to jump. We have a company in Saudi just now won the very big deal. She called us. She said, Eric, we need help. What happened? She won a deal she could not handle. She need funding. So we call SAB. SAB is actually 30% owned by HSBC. I called them on Sunday. I connect them on Monday. Everything is in much better progress now. So this is another example. Working with a global bank is just one phone call away.
Excellent. I think that case in points, because I mentioned earlier, in the intro, that Hong Kong is a super connector. So all our players in Hong Kong, whether it's HSBC or the banks or our science parks in Hong Kong, are all conduit to providing the services to startup companies, because sometimes the startup companies do not have this reach themselves. So now allow me now to turn to the Cyberport, Georgina. So the GBA, Greater Bay Area, is an attractive hub for global tech companies because of our world-class infrastructure, the access to the whole of China's vast market, and the thriving innovation ecosystem. So I understand that you have now established an AI supercomputing center. So how is Cyberport leveraging these advantages, particularly in AI and advanced computing, to attract global tech talent? In addition, I think a lot of you would be thinking about how do you ensure a soft landing for these professionals as they enter the region and integrate into the GBA ecosystem?
Thanks, Alfred. Speaking of AI Supercomputing Center, it is indeed a magnet to attract talents in Hong Kong. AISC itself is a game changer. We offered unparalleled computational power and resources for AI research and development. Ever since we have introduced the launch of AISC, we've been receiving a lot of visits from around the world, different organizations, including university, research center, AI company, AI startups, to talk about collaboration with us. And all of them, one of the main agenda is to set up the research institute to recruit and attract talents in Hong Kong. As for how we can help them to have a soft landing, we offer comprehensive support here at Cyberport, including the visa assistance, housing resources, community integration initiative to help the talent settle into the GBA area. Through different events and activities, we also connect the newcomers, company and talent, with our local networks, investor, industry partners, ensuring they can contribute to and benefit from our thriving ecosystem. Thanks.
Excellent. Any partnerships with HSBC, in case you want to jump in again, Daniel? Maybe something you should think about.
We have some partnership, but we will develop further along those lines.
Absolutely.
Right. If I may now turn to our newest science park, the newest kid on the block, but certainly not the smallest. So a few days ago, or was it last week, I think we all saw on the news, some of us, about the topping up ceremony for two of the buildings in the HSITP, which will be life sciences related or wet lab buildings. But we wait with a bated breath, for all the new adventures that we will see from this location. So Anita, may I ask you now, since the SITP is strategically positioned at the Lok Ma Chau Loop, which for those of you who don't know is basically right across the border of a very small river from Shenzhen. So you can leverage the GBA's unique one country, two systems advantage. So how are you actually helping companies access these opportunities, such as talent, funding, infrastructure, etc., across the different sides of the border? How does it actually work?
Okay, thank you, Alpha. First of all, I want to highlight our position. Actually, our park is just next to Lok Ma Chau Hong Kong side. So as this a unique position, just 3 minutes walk through the bridge to Shenzhen area. So we actually provide a very, very unique position to facilitate all the GBA resources to come over to Hong Kong to do the business and facilitate all the support to the tech company. As I mentioned, that our mission is to provide the opportunity for the tech company to do the pilot transformation at the park. So firstly, I want to announce that we already signed the MOU with South China University. This is a very unique organization and institution. They are the official company that the tech company could do all the testing within the park so that they could get the certification in order to get the MMPA compliance certification in order for them to have further clinical trial in China or the product registration in China without any hassle, moving all the medical device equipment from China, from Hong Kong to China. Secondly, we actually partner with the CAS Testing Institute that they are organized to set up a lab at the park so that all the portalization they want to port it in China, they could do all the testing at a park in order to get the certification. Finally, we actually has a lot of large cooperation with the large enterprise, such as AstraZeneca, BGI, China Resources, Koyi. They are going to set up their point of presence at the park in order to facilitate that what I mentioned, the pilot transformation at the park, so that they could facilitate them to do all the POC and also the expansion to overseas market. This is what we are going to build like a super connector for the tech company to connect China and the world. In addition, I think a lot of people, they are very interested to know about the fourfold policy. Actually, currently, the government actually has a full force speed to speed up the fourfold policy, including the material flow, data flow, fund investment flow, and also the data flow between Hong Kong and Shenzhen. Because Hong Kong and Shenzhen, Hong Kong Park, HSITP, and Shenzhen Park are actually at the collaboration zone. So we actually have a very close and tightened relationship. Every month we have a regular meeting to set up in order to facilitate the tech company from China to Hong Kong and also from Hong Kong to China. So I think some of the company actually at the hall now, you guys are going to join our experience program tomorrow. So we will have 2 days experience program to stay at our park for day 1, and then day 2 we will bring you guys to Shenzhen to experience truly how One Song Two Park enable you guys to do all the business expansion and to enjoy all the GBA resources.
I think that's very excellent, and we are all going to wait for the actual announcements of all these flow of not only machines and equipment, but also data and other flow. And for those of you, I know some of you are startups, but some of you are already scaling up. And if you are thinking ahead for longer term usage for a park, we've got these 3 wonderful parks, just feel free to talk to them at any time with all the additional services that go with it, not just only the park itself and the land. Now, of course, a lot of us have it on our mind that financing is always key to the growth ambition for innovation of companies of every single stage. Now, of course, Hong Kong is a great place to look for capital, all the way from the ultimate aim to get listed on the IPO. We've got very useful Regulation 18A, 18C supporting life sciences and early stage companies, pre-profit companies. But before that, Hong Kong also has a lot of family offices, PEs and VCs who would support you in the journey. But of course, never forgetting all this surrounding this as the foundation of all this as a bank. So Daniel, may I turn to you now? How do you see innovative companies navigate their financing challenges? And I understand that you've got something called innovation banking in HSBC, which was launched about 2 years ago. So how does it help address such needs, and how do you work together with other financiers like PEs and VCs in supporting the portfolio companies?
Yeah, thank you, Alpha, for the questions. So I think broadly speaking, there are 2 types of financing. One is equity, one is debt financing. I think at the early stage of most of the startup, they usually would turn to angel investors and looking for seed money and also venture capitalists. I think those are the stage which I think the R&D, evolving business model actually are quite cash burning. So I think that's probably the right kind of approach they are taking. Now, as the business continue to grow, to scale, I think they will also start generating revenue. Then I think as the founder, they will start to evaluate whether I continue to rely on equity financing or I should consider debt financing, which overall the cost of capital is actually lower, and also you would avoid the dilution of ownership, management control, and shares. So I think that's how the various stages actually having a slightly different needs. Now, it looks complicated, but I think that's where we always see that the startup actually need a financial ecosystem to help them navigate, not only access to finance, but have a better understanding of their options as they go forward, as they grow. So I think with this, which turns to the second part of the question, is we started innovation banking in 2023. Now we have innovation banking in 4 major sites, US, UK, Israel, and of course Hong Kong, covering Hong Kong as well as mainland China as well. So what are the value proposition we're delivering? There's a couple of them. First is the connectivity within the ecosystem. So we have 2 teams, one covering the portfolio companies, the other team working primarily with the PE and VC, surfacing their distinctive needs. Now, when the 2 teams work together closely, we are able to work with the financial ecosystem to help them navigate and help them, advising them on what's the best way to structure, because every case is very different. And we all know that in this innovative startup, it's very different from the traditional lending because there's not much of a collateral and they might not even be generating profit at the early stage. So I think we need a lot of those kind of advice. The second value proposition is the deep connection with the sector expertise. Now, this is how we really better understanding the different business model and the financing needs, and also in a position to connect them with the other ecosystem partner, because they also need that connection, be it a supplier or a buyer or an investor. The third thing is product innovation. Now, as I said, that the financing needs are very different for these kind of startups, especially as they into the growth stage. So we look at how best we can do credit evaluation without looking the very traditional method. And particularly for venture-backed SME enterprises, we actually are the first one in Hong Kong launching the venture debt solution, which enable them to avoid the dilution of shares and ownership, while also lower the cost of financing. I think these will be very welcomed by a lot of business as they continue to grow and scale. Last but not least is actually the global connectivity. Now, because HSBC is present in 58 countries, just now I think Eric shared an example how we connect with the rest of the world for investor, suppliers, and buyers. But more importantly, it's also within Greater Bay Area or in the broader mainland China and Hong Kong, we do welcome a lot of these mainland enterprises to leverage in Hong Kong as they venture overseas. And that's where we can add a lot of value because we have strong presence both in Hong Kong and in mainland China. So adding the 4 together, I think we are playing a role not only helping them to access to finance, but also access to opportunities, market expertise, sector experience.
Excellent. So we've had the 3 science parks and technology parks of Hong Kong and one of the largest banks in the world that will help you connect all here today. And of course, just quickly, myself, we are from Invest Hong Kong, a Hong Kong government department that also has a dedicated team that helps startup set up here if you're not from Hong Kong originally. My team is around. If you see this pin, you can approach them. We do not charge for our services either. So now I'm going to turn to the floor to see if you have got any questions. I think we've got time for a few questions. Anyone have you, MC? You got the questions from the floor?
Oh, there's my mic. Now, we do have a question, so I'll just read it off of here if you don't mind. Someone asked, do you have any interest in extending your impact to emerging markets? For example, EMENA and Sub-Saharan Africa?
The question was what? How do you help them expand to emerging markets, right?
That is correct.
So I guess that would be partly to go science parks. Does anyone of the science parks want to take that forward?
One of the things we are looking at, like I said earlier, is we will go where the money is. Yeah, taking our park company, if it's a growing market, emerging market, or mature market, to us it doesn't matter. As long as there's opportunity, we will go. Now, of course, going to an emerging market or any external market, you've got to be very careful. You need local partner. As long as we can find a local partner that someone we can have a strong trust, we will go. It's very simple. Now, the reason, again, I want to reiterate, only reason we go to Saudi is we have HSBC. Going to Saudi, a market is very, very different. Just give you an example. Opening a company in Saudi takes 9 months. Think about it, yeah? If you're a startup, yeah? You found an opportunity, but you can't do business with our local entity. Open up a local and it takes 9 months. Now, that's assuming you don't know anybody. So if you go to a market, you have to have a local partner working closely with you to help you go through that. Once you open up an entity, next is banking license. You need to collect money, yeah? So that's another thing. So you need a local player. So that's why the reason we go to Saudi is we have a relationship in HSBC in Hong Kong. So if we're going to go to Saudi, we want to continue that relationship. So the answer is not about should we go to emerging market, it's can you find a local partner?
I have one more supplement is I think everyone is trying the best effort to support the company, the tech company to go overseas. And actually, HSITP had signed the collaboration agreement with QIC. QIC is one of the largest fund organization in Pakistan, and they are going to invest the money into the Hong Kong tech company, as well as to provide all the expertise to support them to go through all the process when they would like to do business in Pakistan as well. So I think both Science Park, Cyberport, HSBC, and HSITP, and even Invest Hong Kong has full support for all the tech company. As long as whatever you need, we will provide necessary support to you guys.
Shall we have the second question?
I think that's, let me see, we do actually. What are the differences between Cyberport, Science Park, and HSITP, and what support can we expect from each of them?
Okay, do you mind let me
Okay, let's
take
start
that?
from the oldest to the newest, just to be fair, and you all have 10 seconds to answer that, all right? Go.
Three of us doing the same thing. We are all part of the Hong Kong ecosystem. Yeah, if you are interested to come to Hong Kong, come visit us. Come talk to us. We do a little bit. Might have a little bit differentiation, but overall, what we do, I think we have the same mission: is to help your startup to be successful. So, should be the same.
So since we only focus on digital technology and AI, and our team of 200 people only do this, if you're engaged in that kind of business, we support your dream, we have energy, we make you successful.
So HSITP is because of its unique position and location located at Long Ma Chau. So we actually act as a bridge between Hong Kong and GBA. So however, we work closely together with each other. So whatever you need, you reach out any one of us. We will support you whatever you need.
As a neutral party, I say talk to all of them and see what they could offer you, all right? Given the time, I'm afraid we don't have more time for questions from the floor, but I'm sure the speakers would, after the session, could talk to you there. But just to wrap this up, I want to have a very quick fire-round question for each of you, and you are only allowed 10 seconds each to answer, all right? So say your piece. Why should tech companies come to Hong Kong to set up? What is in it for them? Eric, start with you.
Hong Kong government is putting a lot of resources to support the new technology ecosystem. If I were you, definitely leverage this. This is a huge opportunity right now. You have 3 parks here to choose. Invest Hong Kong, Oasis, a lot of the Hong Kong setup are supporting your growth. Capture it.
Georgina.
Mine is more sentimental. We are a place of possibilities. So if you have an idea, a dream, we help you to make it happen with our energy.
Anita?
Okay, Hong Kong actually is under the common law. So it is actually, when you do all the R&D in Hong Kong, you have a IP protection, and Hong Kong government actually set up the IP patent box recently. So it is well up to standard and international for you to develop your R&D in Hong Kong.
Excellent. And last but not least, Daniel.
I can't complete my financing part without talking about the capital markets, the IPO. I think 3 reasons, more recent trends, which I think you need to take care of. First, I think the listing rules, I think, continue to relax last year. as a lot of pre-profit companies are most welcome. I think this is very competitive compared with all the other stock exchange. The second thing is, since last year, China has been very supportive of a lot of IPO application for Chinese company in Hong Kong. So that's regained a lot of momentum. Actually, there are more than 100 applications for IPO. So it will boost the market. And actually, the market cap this year has already rebounded to $5 trillion US. I think, and also the the daily turnover has gone up substantially. Last but not least, we can't finish without talking about the DeepSeek, but this time it's more about the DeepSeek moment. Actually, it's again bring back all the global investor want to come here to look for opportunities for China as a whole, and also a lot of China inflow funds back into Hong Kong. So with a booming market, this will be a best place for your long-term financial development.
So Hong Kong will support your growth journey from initial setup to incorporation to early market engagement, regulatory alignment. We will also help companies leverage Hong Kong's strategic position as a launchpad. So thank you once again to my esteemed panelists. Give it up for them, ladies and gentlemen.